Oil bubbly and cook with me.
Hey guys, welcome back to Champagne and Cuisine. I've missed you all. It's a new month and it's new recipes. But first we're going to start with our favorite recipe, champagne. I need it. Today we are cooking a very quick meal. This meal is so delicious. It's healthy. It's just a burst of flavor. It's savory, but you can do it literally in no time. And it's our favorite filet of salmon. So, the ingredients that we're going to be using today to do this is our garlic, our cayenne pepper, our seasonal, our Cajun seasoning, our oregano. You know this is one of my faves. Our original dash. A little bit of basil. Some cilantro. And today we're doing virgin olive oil. Pure olive oil. I'm sorry, this is pure olive oil. This is not extra virgin. This is pure olive oil. It's going to just bring out all the flavors. It's going to make everything so tender. It's going to be amazing. So today we are going to create a marinade for this salmon. We are about to create a marinade and we're going to lay this marinade and we're going to cook the salmon and it's just going to be so amazing. So let's get started. We're going to put our salmon to the side for a second because our marinade is front row and center right now. So we're going to start with 3 tablespoons of our Hellmann's at all times. You know, Hellmann's at all times. I make big ones, don't be scared. Because this is a big piece of fish. Then we're going to use 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard, our Dijon mustard. And now we're going to add in our seasonings and we're going to add in a few other little special ingredients. I like to add in Worcestershire sauce and a little wine. So we're going to add in our Worcestershire sauce, just a few drops, maybe like four large drops. And then we're going to add in just a dab of our sherry wine, just a dab. And when I say dab on this one, I really mean a dab. Now we're going to start with our seasonings. So you know me, because I cook so much, I always just go in with my proportions of what I feel. But if you are a beginner, then you're going to get your measurements out and you're going to use a teaspoon of each of these seasonings. So I'm going to start with my garlic. And it doesn't matter which way you put the seasonings in. It's no order to put the seasonings in. You just need them all in here. The only seasoning that we're not going to put into the actual marinade is the cilantro. You can go a little lighter on your cayenne pepper depending how much of a spice that you like. It's beautiful already. Oh my god, I love making this marinade. And just like that, we have a beautiful bowl of marinade. You can see how pretty that is. It's going to be so full of flavor. So you're going to mix it all together. I want you to mix the marinade very well. Mix it all down. And there, your marinade is ready to lie. So we're gonna put this to the side now, and we're gonna bring our salmon back. And we're going to, before we put our layer of marinade over top of our salmon, we're going to go ahead and put our oven on now. We're going to put our oven on 375. And we're gonna let the oven heat up. We're gonna sip a little champagne because we're about to make love to this salmon. So, your first step is you're gonna take your pure olive oil. You can use extra virgin olive oil. I cook with extra virgin olive oil too, but lately I've been falling in love with pure olive oil. It's healthier. To me, it brings out the flavor more. But I feel like this is probably more for our cooks that really know what they're doing in the kitchen. If you're a beginner cook, use extra virgin olive oil because this olive oil is so pure that it'll pop the mess out of you. So I say use extra virgin olive oil. It's the same if you're a beginner. So we're going to lift our salmon and we're going to lay a good layer of oil at the bottom of our pan. Don't be scared of the oil. You need a good amount. That's what puts a layer between your fish cooking, and fish cooks fast. So you don't want to burn your fish. So when you're done, your oil should be liberal. It should be a lot. It should be like that. And you just let that be at the bottom. If it gets on the fish, that's good. Just let it marry right on into that good old meat. And then we're going to take our marinade. Mix one more time, make sure it's nice and mixed, and we're going to lay it. And when you lay it, you want to thinly spread it over to the meat. So use the back of your spoon. I like to use the back of my spoon, and I like to like rub it down because it gets into these little creases of the fish. Don't be scared of your marinade either. Alright. And that is done. You can save this marinade for salmon later in the week or other dishes I use this on, but we'll get to that later. So, after you're done, this is what it's going to look like. It's going to be nicely spreaded. It's going to be rubbed down into the fish. And then we're going to top it with our cilantro. You're going to just sprinkle your cilantro on top of it and make this fish nice and pretty. And after that, this is what you're going to have before we go into the oven. So, our oven is still getting hot. When our oven reaches 375, we're going to pop this baby in the oven, and then we're going to be eating soon. So, I'll be back. If you don't have your glass, go get one. If you do have your glass, it's the time to drink. So, the funniest story behind how I created this marinade for this salmon is because my husband and I actually hated salmon. I guess both of us must have had a bad experience as children. My grandmother actually didn't cook salmon a lot, but when I would eat salmon at restaurants or wherever I was, it would always be dry. I just couldn't, the seasoning wasn't enough. So I told my husband one day in the grocery store I wanted to do something different. I said, if I can make this salmon good, then I'm really a chef. He said, all right, let me see what you want to do. So when I came home, of course, my number one issue, and that's another good thing about cooking, if you ever eat something and you don't like it, the way to make it good is to attack it from what you didn't like about it. So because I didn't like that it was dry, I created a moisture. And that was a marinade. So that's how I came up with this marinade. And this marinade is just so amazing. It makes the best salmon. You can put it on a salad. You can put your salad on the side. You can add a potato and a vegetable. Or you can just eat it by itself. It's just going to be that good. So I'll be back when the oven is ready. Okay, so now the oven is ready. We're about to place our salmon in the oven. Now listen, guys. This is the most important part about cooking your salmon because you don't want to dry your salmon out. So 375 is hot. It's hot for fish. So we're going to only put this in for about 5 to 10 minutes, but we're going to watch it. And at the very end, we're going to broil it. So it's time to put it in. You're going to place it on your top shelf. And we're going to let this cook for about 5 to 10 minutes. Now, while you're cooking this for 5 to 10 minutes, you definitely want to go back every maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and check your salmon and see how well it's cooking. Okay, so I've been checking the salmon every 2 to 3 minutes, and it's been about 10 minutes. So now we are ready to put it on broil. So first, we're going to open it and look at it. And when you open it and look at it, your sauce, it should start to look white. And you should start to have like this yellow where you can see certain parts are cooking more. We're going to now broil this and put a nice good crisp on top of it, and it's going to be done. We're only going to broil it for about, you need to check your broil. You're going to put your broil on low, and we're only going to broil for about 3 to 5 minutes. So set your ovens to low. And start. And we're going to check it and do not let it go over 5 minutes. Okay, it's been 5 minutes and our salmon is ready. You can hear the popping of the oil. That's why I said cook at your own risk. Use extra virgin if you're a beginner, but this is pure. Okay, and our salmon is ready. And it's beautiful. I'm going to transfer it here. And we're going to let it cool off. Alright, so our salmon has cooled off, no more grease popping, and it's time to serve. You know, my favorite thing to do. You cannot cook all these great dishes in your home and not share them. So I'm going to plate a piece, and Jason is going to taste it. Now the salmon should be so tender that you should be able to just use your wooden spoon. And just like that, I was able to cut right into that salmon. So what I'm going to do is we're going to move the salmon out of the way. And I'm going to plate this. It's so tender it may just fall apart. Look at that juice. Look how juicy and beautiful that salmon is. And I'm going to top it with a little fresh parsley, just for design and make it pretty. And we have a beautiful plate of salmon. All right, Testa. Come and tell me what your meal is giving.
This is like my favorite part every time. This is falling apart.
Literally. Salmon should fall apart.
So super tender, super flavorful. The marinade is crazy. It's not dry at all. Got a little spice. Definitely taste the mustard in there. Yeah, this the one. Not the two.
And what's so good about it is that it has that juice to it. It has that flavor to it. It's not dry, and it just has a savory taste to it. It just all blends, and it's not too spicy. So if you're not a person that, you know, like your food too spicy, it doesn't have too much of a kick, but it's still savory and flavorful.
Very much.
So, thank you for coming with us. And we pray that the only pain in life that you have is champagne.